Hello and welcome to the Open News. The date of recording is April the 27th. For today's stories we have Ubuntu 20.04 released and ready to download, Fedora Linux will soon be available on select Lenovo laptops, Manjaro Linux 20 has been released, and Valve are preparing a Half-Life Alyx release for Linux. All that right now on the Open News. For our first story, we have an article from 9to5 Linux. Ubuntu 20.04 LTS Focal Fossa is now available for download. Indeed, after much hype, Ubuntu 20.04 and its various flavors have been released. This release is special because it's an LTS release for Ubuntu, which means it'll be supported for at least 10 years. Some notable new features of Ubuntu 20.04 include the inclusion of GNOME 3.36, the inclusion of the new Yaru theme, various other updates to the included software, and so much more. So all in all, it's a fantastic release for Ubuntu, and by the looks of things, it seems like it's well received. And I would highly recommend anyone listening to this to give it a go, even if you haven't tried Ubuntu in a long time. Also, if you want more information, I've made 2 videos about Ubuntu 20.04 already that I will have linked in the video description. And for our next story, we have another article from 9to5 Linux. Fedora Linux will soon be available on select Lenovo laptops. Indeed, soon you'll be able to buy certain Lenovo laptops with Fedora Linux pre-installed, specifically the ThinkPad line of laptops, which have proven popular with Linux users for a while now. This news was announced by the Fedora project leader Matthew Miller on the 25th of April. Sadly, there's no news as to when these laptops will be available to buy, but there should be more news in the coming months, hopefully. But all in all, this is great news, as ThinkPad fans will be able to get a perfectly working and tested Linux experience out of the box. It's also fantastic because it shows more support for Linux from big manufacturers. And for our third story, we have an article from Gaming on Linux. Manjaro Linux 20 Liza, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, released with XFCE, KDE and GNOME editions, Snap and Flatpak support included. Indeed, Manjaro 20 has now been released. If you remembered, we covered the beta of Manjaro 20 on the last episode of Open News, and now here it is with its full release. To give a brief overview of what's new in Manjaro 20, you get newer software versions, ZFS file system support, and improvements to the various desktops Manjaro offers. If you want more information, I'll have the Gaming on Linux article in the description where you can find a link to download it to. And for our last story, we have some great news for all the Linux gamers out there that own VR headsets, and this comes courtesy of Gaming on Linux again. It seems that Valve are working on a port of Half-Life Alyx for Linux. Indeed, soon Linux gamers will be able to play the newest installment of the Half-Life franchise. We can see that Valve are preparing a Linux version because of SteamDB. Additionally, Valve themselves announced in an interview with Gaming on Linux that they'd have a Vulkan-enabled port of Half-Life Alyx. So all in all, fantastic news for any Linux gamers out there. Also, a quick bonus news story for any Linux gamers out there. If you act quickly, you can get Alien Isolation, which is a game that's based on the Alien franchise and is fully supported on Linux. And you can get that on Steam for like $2. Although you'll have to be quick because as of the date of recording, that offer only has a day and a bit left on it. And that's it for today's edition of Open News. All of the articles and the stories covered in this video are in the description. And if you enjoyed this video, you can find my LBRY channel in the description. Go ahead and sign up for that and follow me on LBRY if you want to support the channel. And with that said, I will see you next week for the next episode of Open News.